Listen up, because I need to share something that's been living rent-free in my mind. You ever have one of those nights that completely blindsides you, that shows up out of nowhere and changes everything? Well, this random motel in the middle of nowhere became the setting for the most unexpected connection I've ever experienced. My heart's still racing, just thinking about it. Get comfortable, because this story, it's about to take you on a wild ride. If you love story, about those chance encounters that leave you breathless, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe right now, because trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. I never planned to end up at this worn-down beige motel with its flickering neon and a vacancy sign buzzing louder than my thoughts. But sometimes life has other plans. The whole trip was meant to clear my head, driving through empty highways, windows down music blasting my brilliant solution for outrunning the confusion that had been following me for weeks. Let's be honest, more like months. Josh was perfect on paper, sweet, dependable with this smile that made everyone feel at ease. 3 years together, and suddenly everyone had questions. When's the wedding house hunting, soon starting a family? The usual script. The thing was, every time he looked at me like I was his whole world, I felt this hollow ache where so certainty should have been. I couldn't explain it, not to him, not even to myself. So I kept it simple, just a weekend time to breathe, and Josh, being Josh, just kissed my forehead and told me to take care of myself. Now here I am, staring at these worn wood panel walls of room 12, feeling just as lost as when I left. The air's got that lovely mix of mildew and cleaning products, and this sad floral bedspread is sagging right in the middle. The TV's bolted to the wall at this weird angle that's honestly driving me crazy. I toss my bag onto the chair by the window sink, onto the bed, and try to make sense of everything. That's when the knock on the door changed everything for a second. I think it's the manager coming to tell me something's wrong, but when I open that door, let me tell you, this guy standing there is definitely not the manager. He's tall hair, still damp from the rain outside, holding up a key that looks exactly like mine. His dark eyes check out the room behind me, then meet mine with one eyebrow raised, and I swear my heart stops for a second. "This is my room," he says, voice deep, but surprisingly gentle. I hold up my key, like it's some kind of shield. "No, it's mine, room 12, see?" He sigh, looking tired but not annoyed. "Guess there's been a mix-up. They told me this was the only room left." I'm about to argue, then stop. Not his fault. And honestly, the thought of dealing with that grumpy manager again isn't exactly appealing. I step back, wave at our glamorous accommodations, fine, but I'm not leaving his smile small, amused. Does something to my stomach, wasn't planning on asking you to. He drops his duffel next to mine and surveys our five-star suite, cozy. He says, eyeing the single bed, and somehow that makes everything both better and worse. I cross my arms, suddenly super aware of everything. It's just for the night, I say, more to convince myself than him. I'll be gone first thing in the morning. Same here, he says, leaning against the wall, hands in his pockets like he's trying to take up less space in our shoes box room. We sit in this tense silence for what feels like forever. The rain's picked up outside, drumming against the windows. He watches it for a moment before turning those eyes back to me. "So what brings you here? Don't seem like the middle of nowhere motel type." I hesitate, caught between brushing him off and spilling everything. Something about his voice, casual but genuinely curious, makes me want to talk. I needed a break. I finally admit, from everything. He nods, like he gets it completely same. That's it. No story, no explanation needed. And honestly, it's perfect. I can't help studying him when he's not looking. He's got this whole rugged thing going, broad shoulders, perfect stubble, and these eyes that somehow look both sharp and exhausted. There's something steady about him that makes our tiny room feel less like a trap, and more like something else entirely. "You're not from around here," he says after a while. "No," I tell him, just passing through. He doesn't push for more, and I'm grateful. Instead, he walks over and sits on the edge of the bed, testing the springs. "Guess we're flipping for the bed?" I stare at him, trying to figure out if he's serious. He smirks. "Pats the mattress. Relax, I'll take the floor." Not my first sketchy motel. Something about his easy confidence makes me want to challenge it. "You don't have to play the hero." I say. We can share. The smirk fades into something softer, more serious. "You sure?" I nod, not trusting my voice. The air between us has shifted, that early attention turning into shirt and pulling him closer. His weight pressed against me, grounding me in a way that felt strangely liberating. His hands were everywhere at my hips, my waist sliding along the length of my legs, with a deliberate, aching slowness. Every touch felt like a question and an answer, all at once, a language we both instinctively understood. The fabric between us disappeared, discarded piece by piece until there was nothing left but skin against skin. His warmth enveloped me, his hands and lips moving in tandem, creating a rhythm that was both exhilarating and agonizing. In its intensity, each movement was deliberate, a push and pull that built with every passing moment. When he pressed closer, his body aligning with mine, the sensation was overwhelming. It was as though every nerve in my body came alive at once, attuned to him, and him alone. His hands framed my face, his thumbs brushing gently against my cheekbones as his lips found mine again. The kiss was different this time, deeper, hungrier, as though we were both losing ourselves in the moment, surrendering to something neither of us could control. My hands found his back, my fingers tracing the planes of muscle as I held him against me. The connection between us was undeniable, an unspoken understanding that transcended words. Every shift of his weight, every deliberate movement drew me closer to the edge. The world around us, fading into nothingness. The room was filled with the sound of our breaths, the quiet rustle of sheets, the occasional gasp as his hands or lips found a particularly sensitive spot. It was a symphony of sensation, a perfect harmony that built to a crescendo. Neither of us could hold back. When it's over, we stay, tangled together, catching our breath as reality slowly creeps back in his hand, trails down my arm, gentle but steady, keeping me grounded in this moment before the real world can claim us again. Morning comes too soon, it always does. I wake up to find him already dressed, lacing his boots, his jackets over his shoulder bag, waiting by the door. He catches me watching. Didn't want to wake you. You're leaving. I pull the blanket around me. Yeah. He pauses, gives me this almost shy smile that makes my heart flip. Thanks for sharing the room. I want to say something, anything, to make him stay just a little longer. But maybe this is exactly how it needs to end. A perfect moment caught between one life and the next. He opens the door, letting in the cool morning air before he goes. He looks back at me one last time, his eyes holding mine just long enough to make my heart ache. Take care of yourself. And then he's gone. I sit there forever, wrapped in that blanket, feeling the warmth he left behind, all those questions I was running from. They're still there, but somehow they feel different now. For one night, I let myself exist outside the lines of my careful life. Maybe that's not an answer, but it's something. When I finally step outside, the rain has stopped. The air smells clean and new, like possible IDs. I get in my car, grip the wheel, and start the drive home, carrying this secret night with me. Damn. Sometimes I still catch myself thinking about that night. If this story hit you right in the feels, smash that like button and drop a comment about your most unexpected encounter. Want more stories that'll make your pulse race? Hit subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from. Until next time, keep chasing those beautiful accidents. Makes my heart flip. Thanks for sharing the room. I want to say something, anything, to make him stay just a little longer. But maybe this is exactly how it needs to end. A perfect moment caught between one life and the next. He opens the door, letting in the cool morning air before he goes. He looks back at me one last time, his eyes holding mine just long enough to make my heart ache. Take care of yourself. And then he's gone. I sit there forever, wrapped in that blanket, feeling the warmth he left behind, all those questions I was running from. They're still there, but somehow they feel different now. For one night, I let myself exist outside the lines of my careful life. Maybe that's not an answer, but it's something. When I finally step outside, the rain has stopped. The air smells clean and new, like possible IDs. I get in my car, grip the wheel, and start the drive home, carrying this secret night with me. Damn. Sometimes I still catch myself thinking about that night. If this story hit you right in the fields, smash that like button and drop a comment about your most unexpected encounter. Want more stories that'll make your pulse race hit subscribe? There's plenty more where this came from. Until next time, keep chasing those beautiful accidents.